Part 4 of History, Mystery, and the Bound Imagination. A little what I like to call, and as I have that titled in the books, is the transition into the new movement kingdom. In the new movement kingdom, the post-conventional world students, seekers, explorers, adventurers, and learners will be humble and curious, not proud and lazy. Our infatuation with analysis, knowledge, information, facts, and belief systems will be lost to imagination, experimentation, and creative thinking. Results will be shown and displayed more like works of art in an art gallery rather than like evidence in a court case. How deeply you listen will be more important than how loud you shout. Movement in life will be more like a dance, helping each other hear the music, learning the rhythmic moves, and the feel of the rhythm. Instead of defending old answers, we will apologize for how inadequate they are. In conventionalism, you gain credibility for always being right. In the New Movement Kingdom, you gain authority by admitting mistakes and being wrong. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn. Individual uniqueness and dependency will replace cookie-cutter dependency and labeling. No longer will a program's systematic, authoritative ways be argued for and used to prove a point. Relationships will be the ultimate question of concern, with people seldom looking for answers, but rather conversation and interaction. Movement will be something that we get to do, not something that we have to do. In the New Movement Kingdom, a degree will not make you an expert scientist. The gift, not the degree, will make the professional in the New Movement Kingdom. A lot of the most influential educational experiences in education comes pre-higher education. Sip on that a second. Without formal training. Without degrees, conventional wisdom and higher education notoriously have given others the false sense of hope, and thinking that if they do more and enough, that they can avoid most conflicts. Higher education has created false misconceptions as they require the wrong subjects. If the 1950s ever come back again, hey, we're ready. The New Movement Kingdom will not be behind times, but will be ahead of its time, embracing the past history to help form a better vision and direction for today, tomorrow, and beyond. Higher education will no longer be a system of certification, but true education is higher education often recruits students who already know what they think and are not interested in having their thinking stretched or challenged. Instead of learning stronger defenses, justifications, and proofs for current beliefs from biased opinions, open, fresh, and excited minds will seek to create new problems and challenges to launch new adventures. Instead of higher education institutes continuing to certify people who are insufficiently educated to face new challenges, they will be taught how to think, not what to think. Instead of teaching how to answer yesterday's questions, we will learn how to face today's and to anticipate tomorrow's. The answer is not more or less formal education, but rather maybe better and different kinds of education than what we consider kind of that higher education today. We need better and different kinds of leaders. We certify scholars, debaters, and talking heads, not multidimensional leaders with a balanced passion for community, people, progression, creativity, experimentation, and mission. In the New Movement Kingdom, education will be more lifelike. Training for professionals will be on the job, and academic achievements in the form of degrees and certifications will not mean a thing if one can't be of benefit to society. Professionals and professors will be a new and different kind of mentor and educate and train by how they live their lives as daily example instead of their lecture notes. Education will take the shape of a lifelong course in dynamic learning communities rather than information dumps and theory-based classes of disconnected students. There will probably be more recognition of the history of sports, movement culture, and an unfolding story of movement across cultures over time. The New Movement Kingdom will not limit movement, ideas, logic, and creativity into the confinement of modern analysis box or rigid mechanisms and orderly, systematic mechanics. The new movement kingdom will be more sensitive to diversely changing culture and new, constantly changing issues requiring leaders, educators, and higher education to experience movement in cross-cultural settings. Learning will be practiced amongst a body of experimenters, dedicated, motivated, and devoted practitioners working to learn with and from each other in order to make each other better. The new movement kingdom will include everyone and will strive to reflect diversity and equality while freely exploring new possibilities in innovative ways. The modern conventional world's wisdom, protocol, methodologies, and modalities have been constructed by scholars and textbooks and lecturers that have become detached, disinterested, and self-engrossed in their own personal biases, desires, and perspective, not truth. From these highly controlled systems comes the fascination with techniques that control the minds and actions of an industry, society, and culture. Those systems continue to be protected by the domineering educated and their strong, self-deserving, instant gratifying sense of entitlement and ownership to the best protocol and system of doing work. In the new movement kingdom, educators will leave the library more frequently and perform a new form of research that is consumed by finding what works best for the situation at hand, learning and progressing from there. In the new movement kingdom, no longer will anyone be slaves to systems, ignorant to creativity, logic, reality, mystery, artistic expression, and adventure. We will enter the new movement kingdom, this big period of transition and transformation in which movement will no longer be viewed as analyzed, segmented, small pieces of rigid black and white, clear-cut information, segregated and minimized to plastic language recycled over and over. We will learn and rediscover how to communicate as a community in language far more ancient than words, survival by means of movement, a language bridging our worlds. Movement will be our language. We will approach things as people in a predicament, knowing and finding hope in that our quest for ultimate absolute truth is impossible. We will find great adventure and purpose in obsession and infatuation, knowing that the challenge of uncertainty will enable us to make commitments smothered in hard work and responsibility. We will find connection between doubt and truth, finding that if we doubt beliefs, we can embrace better ones, as an unwillingness to question leads to a false security. The new movement kingdom will act in nonviolent ways to challenge, confront, expose, violate, and assault normal scientific protocols as pure science, now becoming a journey, story, and adventurous, poetic story in which everyone writes. Research oftentimes has become a system of facts and rules strategically arranged and developed by an opinionated, biased, and self-indulged method and plan-based group of knowledge fit for the controlled and artificially predictable environment. Scientists oftentimes are obligated and overruled by people highly influential with monetary backings, gifts, and sponsorships that revolve around marketing and promotions through research, around marketing and promotions surrounding products, theories, and other saleable tools. It should be no surprise that some reports gathered through research are scientific fraud. Edited pieces of biased and highly opinionated evidence full of false truths, ordering scientists to change the conclusions to their studies. There is an obligation to present the truth as it is seen, but it is difficult to get anyone to understand something if their salary depends upon their not understanding it. Episode 5